This morning, I thought we'd hold the lens of what's called pramana. I often use the term translation as direct perception, but actually it translates as valid knowledge. And it said there are three forms of valid knowledge. The first is direct perception, a direct experience of something. The second is testimony, and the third, inference. There are, we could say, three ways that you can acquire knowledge. But I want to focus on the second of these, what's called testimony. People think of testimony as what was said. I read a text and therefore it's credible. But in today's world, not only is that discredited, but actually what is truth and what is valid knowledge is up for question everywhere. I think of valid knowledge following Iyengar's statements. He says, I'm a simple man. I have no reason to question the words of others. And really, he's talking back to Patanjali. I have no reason to question Patanjali. But I practice. And if what I find through my practice corresponds to what I read, then I take it as a fact. But if, on the other hand, when I practice, I find there is a discrepancy between what I read and what I experience, then he says, I practice more. I inquire further. And if I find what I find is different, then I take it to my students and I teach my students. And if they find what I found in my practice, then I take this as truth. And I live on my own experiments and experiences. And what he's talking about there is the application of testimony, not so much as believing in something, but I often describe it as like a roadmap. It tells you something. It says, if you do these things, you can go to this place. But our job is not to believe things, but is to follow that roadmap, to see whether what is said is valid in our experience. And on this level, teachers are testimony. They act as testimony. The teacher holds focus and they work in certain ways. And they are, in essence, taking you on the journey that they go on. But your job is not to believe in teachers, not to follow and just do what was said, but actually to observe your own experience. And in this way, we come to know ourselves rather than what was said. In many ways, we're not joining anything when we follow testimony. Testimony seems, for the outsider, to be about something that you're ascribing to or believing in. But in yoga, there is no belief. There is no club to join. There is no group. There is, however, the practice.